1, 2, sound check. 1, 2. One, two, sound check, sound check. Hi folks, good morning. March 14th, Saturday. Sound check. I hope sound is okay. And yesterday I talked the first 10 minutes with no sound, apparently. And let me check it again. Audio seems to be fine. I have to say, these are difficult days for all of us, all around the world. It's a pandemic, coronavirus. There are travel restrictions all over the place. But maybe this is a good time just to take care of ourselves and our loved ones and don't go out into the crowds if it's not necessary, and do all the common sense things, washing our hands, and maybe catch up with some of the household chores that we have neglected. Seumas, good morning, my friend. How are you? Welcome back. How is California? We decided to have these Saturday morning sessions in terms of timing to see if it's better. And here's a question. Your health is in your hands. Well, literally so, because I keep washing my hands. Is this a good time to start a technical writing career? I would say, of course, why not? One thing about this crisis, I know it is bad right now, but I'm a techno-optimist, and technology is on our side. And eventually there will be a vaccine solution, and the life will keep moving on. And I just noticed, Seumas, I apologize. You're from Philadelphia. I just remembered I mixed you with someone else from California. But in terms of starting a technical writing career, in a freelance or working for a company, It's going to be tough if obviously if all the companies shut down, but then logically it would be a bad time to do anything, correct? So I'm assuming a semblance of normalcy, when it comes back, and when we again start to move around, it would be a great time to start a career in technical writing, because there's a constant demand. There are of all these documentation and writing jobs that needs to be completed and delivered. And for example, Wall Street, it goes up, it goes down, right? But still, by going up and down, transactions are taking place. So I bet you someone is doing some writing on Wall Street. I guarantee you that, because technical writers are employed everywhere. Everywhere you have production, distribution, consumption, those three main economic activities. As long as they are taking place, somebody's scribbling something somewhere. Memos are sent, and the standard operating procedures are written, guides of all kinds, like installation guides, user guides, quick start guides, reference guides, all over the place. So trust me, as long as the economy keeps breathing, technical writers will be working. But I don't want to think about a dystopian future like the ones you see in some Hollywood films. Then really, it's not a good time to do anything, right? So, but I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimist, and I think a solution will be found. I also like to read history books. These days, I'm trying to finish this volume on the Borgias of Italy, 14th, 15th century. And as you know, it was a very powerful family. They had cardinals, popes, Alexander VI, etc., Caesar Borgia, Lucretia Borgia. Now, the reason I'm sharing this, during 1490s, there was another epidemic in Rome and Italy, central Italy. I mean, people were falling off like flies because of malaria and other plague. And they thought it was due to bad air. And that's why they called it malaria. Mal air, area is air. Mal is bad, area is air. So malaria originally meant bad air. And they didn't know it was all these darn mosquitoes propagating along the marshes and swamps all around the city. So they paid a very heavy price. We, on the other hand, yes, Italy is under lockdown, but we have technology on our side. And I'm sure first we will contain it and mitigate it, and we will look back in the future. It will be a memory. I have seen so many crises in my life. Nothing lasts forever, folks. Nothing lasts forever. That was one of the basic truths of Buddha. He said everything is impermanent, including plagues and epidemics. They are impermanent as well. So yeah, if you find a chance, your health is in your hands to start technical writing career, I would say, of course, why not? The thing is, of course, I don't know what your alternatives are, right? I mean, what are the alternatives? If you are looking to start a new career or shift to another career, for me, the choice was between journalism and technical writing. I tried journalism for a number of years, and it was exciting. I mean, I was at the US Congress State Department. Once I entered into the same elevator with Ted Kennedy, and I was so excited, bigger than life guy. And so journalism had its moments, but I wanted a more solid career with a little bit more money. So I shifted to technical writing in '98, and I never looked back since. So let me ask you, what are your alternatives? Are you a writer currently? Are you a non-writer trying to go into writing? If that is the case, don't. I was going to say don't be a poet. Well, be a poet, write poetry, but don't rely on it for your family's sustenance. I love poetry. I do write it, but I would never think of it as my main day job. Screenplay writing, if you're in love with movies like me, I tried it for quite a few years and couldn't sell a single screenplay. So there are proven ways to make money in writing business. Copywriting is good. Copywriters make money. Technical writers definitely make money. If you can be a speech writer, for example, speech writing pays very well, but it's very competitive. And there are far fewer speech writers than technical writers. I mean, in technical writing, I'm going to admit, you don't have to be a star. I don't think I am a star by any means, but I'll still make a living. But if you're a speech writer, you better be very, very good. And then it's like biographers. Ron Chernow, I don't know if you read any of his books. Yeah, I agree with Seumas. He just said, don't quit your day job. That's an important principle. Like if you're a Ron Chernow, I'm reading his biography of Ulysses Grant, the Union commander. Or Hamilton, Seumas, I have Hamilton, but I still haven't read it. I am so caught up with Grant. It's an amazing life story, unbelievable. A man who failed at everything until the Civil War, just surges ahead, and everybody should read that. But my point is, if you're a Ron Chernow, yeah, go ahead, be a biographer of famous people, right? Or Isaacson, it's waiting on my desk, Steve Jobs' biography. So, but other than that, those type of writing, it needs tremendous buy-in from traditional publishing houses. You have to arrive at a certain stage before you can tackle those kinds of projects. So technical writing is a great way, to work, and it's public service, by the way. Like, who would write a user guide but not for the public, right? When I'm at home, I can write a poem just for my own pleasure, right? But honestly, I would never sit down and write an installation guide. So by its very definition, this is something we are doing for the public. It's a true public service. Think of it that way. And there's a constant demand, and there is payment for it too. People understand when they hire a technical writer, they are going to pay him or her for it. So for the last 22 years, I took care of my family, sent my son through college. So, and here I am. I recommend it to everyone who's trying to make a living through writing. So my answer, is this a good time to start a technical writing career? I would say, yeah, it is, really. Although we are going through very special times right now, and we'll see what will happen within the next 6 months. But the president declared national emergency, so everybody is fully aware of the seriousness of the situation, and it will turn around. And everyone is very vigilant. I know everyone around me is vigilant, and we are not trying to do anything foolish. Well, you can't even go to games Like I love classical music concerts, and we had tickets for these concerts, and we had to cancel them. So I'm not going to go into a concert hall with 1,000 people in there and take any chances, right? And they understand that. They immediately gave me credit for future performances. So eventually the tide will turn around. What we don't know is when. So if you want to train yourself, look, online is safe, right? You can take online courses. There are tons of stuff on YouTube and everywhere. And let me plug in my own website. Let me see. Right there. Technical Communication Center.com or tcc6.com. I mean, if you go here, there are articles on every conceivable topic. Let me select, for example, here's the one on technical writing. Okay. I have, last count, over like 2,000 articles here. And if you subscribe, by the way, not only you get a freebie, 20 questions, 20 answers about technical writing, but every week you will get a tip, method, something from me that would be valuable for your technical writing career. And I have like all kinds of top mistakes writers make, main components, release notes document. Oh, there you go, Seumas. Thanks a lot. Seumas says, I signed up for the mailing list and received the daily emails. Sometimes it's going to be daily. And like alternative energy, a blooming writing niche for technology writers. Oh, I have also, 7-day free writing course. Let me show that to you. Your health is in your hands. And let me see. Let me show you my 7-day writing course. Oh, there it is. So you can sign up and see what you think for 7 days. There's no obligation whatsoever. So I try to share the best I can. Then I have quite a few articles on jobs. Like when people say technical writing, they think about high tech, right? Like I'm in high-tech software sector, but not all jobs are high-tech. There are also non-high-tech technical writing jobs. And there are quite a few articles on how to find jobs and like selected ideas for that first job as a rookie technical writer. This might be perfect for you, my friend. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Your handle is your health is in your hands. But if you go to my site, and even 9-point checklist is full-time technical writing the right job for you. So you can test yourself and think about it. And I hope you will decide that this is the right job for you. And I have high-tech and low-tech technical writing for internal versus external customers. And 2 good reasons to write for free rather than for just a few bucks. This is an interesting article. How to find a technical writing job. Some ideas and resources. So, I have tons of stuff on this site. 4 questions and answers for those entering the technical writing job market. Seems to me the ideal articles here for you. Your health is in your hands. So I hope these will be helpful for you. I don't know where you are from because there are certain areas, if you are with the United States, for example, North Carolina, the Research Triangle, Raleigh-Durham, Chapel Hill area is a good one. And the area where I'm at, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, is a good area. Boston, California, San Diego, Obviously, Silicon Valley, San Francisco South, San Jose, etc. And Seattle, Washington is another good area, but unfortunately, it's hit right now with this coronavirus, but it won't last forever. So location seems to be kind of important. Like if you live in North Dakota, I don't know. I would like to get feedback on that. I'm not sure how many technical writing jobs there are in North Dakota. But I've been to Toronto, Canada, for example, Montreal, Vancouver on the West Coast, Canada. There are good jobs because, as I said, you need three activities: production, distribution, consumption of products and services. As long as these things are taking place, and this is what economy is all about. It's a tripod, right, with three legs. So as long as you have these three functions, someone will be doing technical writing, copywriting, business writing, and they will overlap too. Like every day I receive so much stuff through the mail. Look at this. I'm going to show you something. Uline, shipping supply specialists. See this catalog? I mean, look at this catalog. It's just jam-packed. This is data publishing at its finest. And who's doing this? Who's creating this? I mean, technical writers. Technical writers are producing this, okay? So my point is try to keep your horizon wide. Sometimes we think too narrowly what technical communication is. And here is Deepak. Welcome, Deepak. Deepak says, is it necessary to have technical or engineering background to get into the technical writing domain? Well, what do you think? I'm not an engineer, Deepak. I had 3 years of electrical engineering, but I didn't graduate. I never had my engineering degree. And so I went to social sciences. So to this day, I maintain these two sides of me. I love technology and science, and I also love social science, history, etc. It would help, definitely. Last night's LiveCast, we have a visitor 2 nights in a row from South Korea. He's a mechanical engineer, and he works for the shipping industry, right? I mean, that's perfect. Sometimes there's a great match. Like if you go to electrical engineering, computer science, that sort of college education under your belt. I mean, then if you go work for the software or hardware industry as a technical writer, that would be perfect. But you don't have to. And probably there are 2 reasons for that. Maybe 3. One is everything is developing so fast, rapidly, really. And most programs can't even catch up with the innovations and new stuff we have in our own field. So there are quite a few technical writing programs, that are offered by English departments. And on the other hand, if you're an engineer, they will not teach you how to write. So technical writing is something that falls right in between. It's neither, engineering, no full-time writing. So it necessarily requires a lot of and constant on-the-job training and learning. Like I learn every day. Like this LiveCast I'm hosting now was something I had no idea how to do a month earlier. And I learned it. I studied it. I said, what is this LiveCast thing? Now, I may offer this knowledge at work to my managers and bosses, because the presentation formats, presentation platforms are never static. And see, Seumas is also like me. He says, interested in technology, humanities, history especially. We are very much the feathers of the same bird, seems like, Seumas. Now, I have a sociology background, Deepak, looking for again proficiency in English. Well, I mean, that's a must, right? I mean, you have to be able to read and write in English because a technical writing job is the wrong place to start learning English. I mean, that's the rock bottom requirement. And that's how I got in technical writing in '98. They were hiring people at ADP, a big company. And the hiring manager said, I was a journalist back then, right? And she said, do you have any track record in technical writing? Have you done this before? I said, look, I haven't done this before, but I'm a journalist. I write at least 1 or 2 news stories every day for the last 4 years. So I know I'm a good writer, and I know I can learn, and I want to learn because I love technology. So the ball is in your yard. You decide whether you want to give me a chance or lose me to another company, right? I was a little brash there, but it worked. So API is Deepak application programming interface, and as Society for Technical Communication, Washington, D.C., Baltimore chapter, my award-winning, wonderful SDC chapter, we had a great presentation on API documentation by Tom Johnson. And his website is I'd Rather Be Writing. He has a very interesting website. 1 second. I'd rather be writing.com. I'd rather be writing.com is his website. I'll put it up. Is it coming? All right. Yeah. So he has a wonderful API course. He's a senior technical writer at Amazon. And he's one of the well-known figures in our community. He's very good. So if you are interested in learning at API, Tom is your man. So, and he offers tons of stuff for free. He's a very nice guy. So API documentation, though, Deepak, you should be aware, is very different from end-user documentation. Like I'm an end-user documentation. I create stuff for the public, for the customer of a product or service. But API writing is a very high-tech sort of writing for the developers within the company, engineers. So you're writing for the other developers and engineers. And most often than not, I would say almost always, you also need to have knowledge of a couple programming languages. Tom had a survey on API writing, and I believe JavaScript turned out to be the #1 programming language that I wanted API writers, to have a background in. So I think it has a steeper learning curve, and also you need to like it too. You can't go into API documentation just because companies are looking for API writers, right? Okay, I'm going to share what Seumas said. He says, Deepak has a good point. Most of the job listings I look at here in my area want candidates who have at least a 4-year degree in either writing or some technical discipline or both. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. And it says, then on top of that, they often want several years of experience because this field is being discovered, technical communication, Seumas, and I'm not surprised it's getting competitive too. So I also agree, you definitely need to have a college degree of some sorts, 4-year better. But if you have 2-year community college degree, that might work too. Again, it depends. Please do not assume that technical writing is all this API writing, software writing. I have friends in Virginia. They are technical writers for a company that manufacture garden swings and backyard sets. Furniture. It's a furniture company, and they are working there as a technical writer. So there are all kinds of opportunities out there. Please don't assume that all technical writing is this super duper high-tech telecom writing. But the thing is, I believe in portfolio. Sometimes managers ask for these certificates and this, you know what? Because the applicant doesn't have an adequate portfolio and they don't know what to ask for, right? Imagine yourself, put yourself in the shoes of someone who's hiring another person, right? How are you going to gauge this person? How are you going to understand if he's a good technical writer? So, because you yourself you are not a technical writer yourself, right? So you are not in a position, even if you look at let's say, installation guide to decide perhaps whether it's a good one or not. So a substitute is to ask if you have a 4-year college degree and where it's from. And if she says, well, I just finished Harvard or Yale, whoa, you'd be impressed, and maybe you would offer a job without realizing maybe that's not the right person for the job, even though he or she just finished Harvard. So it's a substitute, these degrees. But if you were to present a portfolio which shows the samples of your work, I think that would also count for something. Deepak says, I found your resources very helpful. Thank you, my friend. If someone is planning to break into the technical writing, well, as I said, you are most welcomed to check out my website. And I have 7-day technical writing course. I have YouTube channel. I have my Facebook page, technical writing page. So I try to offer the best I can for writers just entering this very rewarding specialty. Right here, technical writing job opportunities for rookie writers. An embarrassing start to my technical writing career when I didn't know what technical writing was. Like, you can create daily job alerts. And I have that on my site too, by the way. I created a Craigslist RSS feed by cities. So you can go check that out. Okay, my Facebook, 1 second. Let me share my Facebook page. Just give me a short second and I will do that gladly. Okay. It's a little slow this morning, but Yep. Is this the one? Yeah. 1 second. Let me share that for you with you. Is this? Yep. Screen 2. There you go. This is my. It's technical com with 2 M's. Facebook.com/ it's technical com on Facebook. Yeah, that's what it is. Technical com. Facebook.com/ technical com. And I have some stuff there. Actually, these broadcasts, LiveCasts, are posted. I just started posting them on my website. Oh, here we are. How recursive. I'm watching myself live. Because I'm broadcasting this both to YouTube and to Facebook. But yeah, you're welcome to visit. I thank you too, Deepak. Where are you from in India, Deepak? Which city? Are you from Bangalore? There are a lot of writing jobs, Bangalore. It's a big country. Or maybe you're in the United States. I'm sorry, I just assuming you're from India. Uttarakhand. Is that north? Like Uttar Pradesh? I know very little about India, but I know it's a big country and technologically it's pushing on strong. So, yeah, and by the way, there are, oh, you're in Bangalore. There you go. Nowadays, fantastic. Bangalore has a very exploding high-tech scene, and I have quite a few technical writing friends in Bangalore itself, definitely. Yeah, I never visited. I would love to visit once this coronavirus thing is over. There are so many things to do, so much potential, and we're gonna beat this virus eventually. We will definitely, I believe in that. It's gonna take some time, but we'll do it. We have the technology, we have the fire, we have the light. Yeah. It says, I belong to non-IT background, struggling too much. No one is taking the risk to hire any non-IT candidate. Well, I understand that. It also depends. Yeah, I mean, Deepak, the one thing you can do, do you have a portfolio? Like, do you have, I mean, portfolio is so important. You should at least have one good user guide and maybe another installation guide, and use those samples of your work in your application, and also go sideways. The concept of sideways, it could be writing, but if you go straight head on to a Fortune 100 software company, maybe your chances won't be as good. But you can start from something related, still writing, but not maybe the ideal writing job you're looking for. But that would provide you an entrance into the sector. So what kind of samples? I would say at least a user guide. I mean, that's standard of technical writing. Okay, like it could be something like this. Look at this. This is a quick start guide. Can you see it? Oh, sewing machine. Right. Let me go to a larger screen. Oops, sorry. Like quick start guide. with illustrations and in many languages. You can start from something as simple as this, like a 3-4 page brochure, and you can write an installation guide. By the way, I'm not trying to plug in my course, Udemy course, Professional Technical Writing, but it's precisely this is what we are doing in that course. It's a beginner level course, and I take you by the hand, and by the time you finish, I teach you exactly how to write a user guide. So try to find a course like that, or there are books out there. Lynda.com, Udemy has a lot of courses for like a few bucks. So Deepak, I would say just search to Google for technical document samples. There are tons of sites out there. You can find them easily. And also, I'm sure around you, you should be coming across user manuals of all kinds, of all sorts. I mean, we are all living in a ocean of technical documentation. And so if you pay attention, I'm sure, as I said, this was something, my wife was doing some sewing work, and it came with the Singer machine. Every machine, every app has something related to it, a technical document of some sort. Okay, quick start, guys. Go ahead, Deepak. What's your question? I mean, quick start guides is the easiest to write. If you have illustration skills, graphic design skills, that's even better. Your chances of finding a job would be greatly enhanced if you can add the layer of graphic design to your writing. Okay, Deepak says, someone asked me to write quick start guide for YouTube on a single page paper. Is it possible to write user manual for YouTube? Well, I mean, you cannot write an official YouTube user guide, right? I'm pretty sure that would be against the law. You would be violating copyrights. But you can write it for educational purposes, for without any distribution or commercial distribution. Like, you can't make money off of it. But as far as I know, you can. I mean, internet is full of videos on how to do something on YouTube, right? That's not illegal. That you are sharing for educational purposes. You are sharing a skill, how to do something, describing it through internet. So you can write your own guides to YouTube as long as you make sure on the cover that this is not official by any means. Like, you are not representing YouTube, you are not working for YouTube. So, I mean, that should be okay, I think. Even since this is a legal matter, probably you should also ask this to an attorney. And because laws also change from one country to another. But in theory, especially if you're applying for a job, I don't think there will be any harm in showing an employer what you have done, like this quick start guide, a single page, like, let's say, how to create a channel, how to create a YouTube channel, right? It has a lot of steps. It's not a very simple procedure. Then after you create it, how to edit, modify a channel, and how to delete a channel. I just learned it's not an easy matter to delete a channel, for example. It's not a simple matter of selecting the channel and hitting the delete button. It doesn't work that way. So I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who don't know how to create, edit, and delete a channel. Yeah, you can write a single page quick startup guide and see how you do. He says, I asked them, can I write how to log into YouTube user guide? He said, no, I want quick start. Yeah, I mean, logging in really probably does not warrant a whole user guide or quick start guide. But he says, I'm trying to understand you. Quick start for YouTube on plain paper? What do you mean plain paper? Like for printing? A print format with a classical page layout? Yeah, you can do that even in Word. I mean, there are much more powerful programs like InDesign, if you have access to it. It's a perfect print layout and design program, Adobe InDesign. But if you have the good old humble Word, there are still templates. Like Word 2019 comes with just this unbelievable list of templates. All you need to do is go to File, New, and it will offer you all these templates. Just click, download the template, just fill in the blanks, and you're ready to go. Use Word for that purpose. So does that answer your question? I'm not sure. Deepak? I hope it did. Yeah. I mean, you need a portfolio and you need to find a company. If you're applying for Oracle or Microsoft India, yeah, I'm sure they will ask for a 4-year college degree, right? But as I said, there are not hundreds of thousands, there are millions of companies, folks, out there. They do have one kind of technical writing job or another. Maybe not on a full-time basis, maybe on a project basis, like a one-shot deal to create this document. I had quite a few of those in the past. I would get the project, deliver it, done. We shake hands, go on our own ways, right? It wouldn't be a permanent employment. Deepak says, you solved my problem. I thank you. Well, I thank you too, Deepak. Thanks for dropping by. We will have this Saturdays, 9 o'clock in the morning. So welcome to stop by next week. Seumas says, there is some irony in the current situation because I had been wanting to find out if it's possible to start out as a freelance tech writer and how to go about it. Is that something you could discuss? Yeah, definitely. But Seumas, as anything else, it comes to marketing, right? I mean, you have to market yourself. The old saying, if a tree fell in the forest and no one heard about it, did the tree really fall? Same situation. If you're a great writer and no one knows about you, you don't market yourself. Are you a writer? Yeah, you see, that's the, I believe, hardest part of freelancing. You really have to circulate. You have to have a good social media footprint, and you have to start small. I mean, way back, I remember the times when I was writing basically resumes. Resume writing is pretty lucrative, especially if you live around a college town. It's easy work, just a page or two. I wrote a lot of press releases. Now, you wouldn't think press release is technical writing, but that's where you start from. You have to get in. Action is important. Otherwise, it's just paralysis of analysis. You keep analyzing and dreaming and, stuff in the air. You need to take action, even if it's just writing a simple press release for a company that no one has ever heard of for $50, right? But that action will open you other venues. That guy will talk to the other guy and you will receive this email, you will have this invitation, etc., etc. The way universe works, it starts to push things, along the direction that you have chosen for yourself. So you have to trust in the process, in the flow. But for that, you need to take action. If you don't take action, nothing will happen, no matter how fantastic your ideas are. So yeah, I have freelance technical writer friends, and you can go that route. But if you are on the payroll of a corporation, there's a good benefits package. Some companies still have pension plans. They have 401k. We all get old. I mean, we have to think about those days ahead when we won't be able to work anymore. So working for a company has those benefits, like medical benefits, dental, eye, etc. So when you're a freelancer, you have to all pay for all that out of your pocket. And some people find out freelancing is not what it's cracked up to be. Once you start deducting all those expenses from your revenue, some people end up saying, I wish I worked for McDonald's. I would have made more money. So it just depends on what kind of consultancy or freelance business you're building up. There are people who are very successful at it, but they are good marketers and they are good business people. They know how to market their services. So, and Seumas, paralysis of analysis, that's me. It used to be me too, Seumas, until I decided, damn, even if I make an error, I'm going to take action, because at least when I take action, I know what doesn't work. The story, Thomas Edison, he tried 1,000 filaments before coming up with the tungsten filament for the first light bulb. And journalists said, how does it feel to fail 1,000 times? He said, I haven't failed. I just discovered 1,000 things that don't work. So there's no such thing as failure. Every day we fall down, and then we need to get up and try something else, learn and push on. That's how life works. So let me see. Deepak says, as a fresher, which sector shall I move to start out my career as a technical writer, product or service-based companies? I don't know. Depends. Bangalore has lots of both, right? Bangalore. But you know what? I would first try my hand in something simple, like, as I mentioned, writing a press release or writing a resume. These are very easy, low entry threshold writing niches. Like to, develop some self-confidence in yourself as a writer. Learn how to have headlines, how to put paragraphs together, how to start an idea, develop it, and how to conclude it. These are all the ABCs of our craft. You have to be sure of yourself by doing it. I mean, again, the same idea. You can't become a good writer by just reading other writers' books and just dreaming about it. You really have to sit down in a chair and write it and see what comes up. And I would say both product and service-based companies are fine. Actually, they are more and more kind of melding into one another. Since I don't know the Bangalore market, I can say, but I know there are quite a few Fortune 500 American companies that have their calling centers and software development campuses in Bangalore. It's an excellent city in India. I mean, you are so lucky, Deepak, you're in Bangalore. There are tons of opportunities out there. And Seumas says, having been a professional handyman, I understand about the pros and cons of self-employment. Yeah, I mean, it's a point of pride. I also like to be independent. We all like to be independent, right? I grew up watching Western movies. The guy gets on his horse and does his own thing. But in this competitive world, sometimes when you work for a corporation, I'm very grateful. I was lucky in that regard. They take care of a lot of stuff for you. You don't have to worry a lot of things about your work. Being a freelancer, man, I mean, the fees and taxes and deductions, and you start having an accountant, then pretty soon you need someone to keep your papers and books. And while you search for a paying job, trying to keep customers happy, it's not easy. But if you like that sort of challenge, you'll definitely meet your match right there. So, well, we are approaching the 1 hour mark, and we will have another 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, depending if you have other questions. But have faith. Writing, in the beginning, there was the word, right? That's what the holy books talk about. Writing is very powerful stuff. And it moves people, it moves nations, it moves mountains. Our whole technology is built on writing, symbols, words, sentences. They move us, they teach us, they remove obstacles, solves problems. So there will always, I'm so proud to be a writer, and there will always be room in this world for writers of all kinds. Just because I can't be a good screenwriter doesn't mean I can't create a quick start guide. That's my contribution to the world. I know somebody is going to use it somehow, someday, and thank me for it, although he wouldn't know me. He would say, oh, man, this is a good quick start guide for this sewing machine, I'm so glad this thing exists. So bringing order to chaos this is how I summarize my career. I have fat fingers. I'm bringing order to chaos is the shortest definition of technical communication. This is how I define it. There's chaos out there, and we are trying to make it understandable, manageable, controllable. So I thank all of you for reserving this time on a Saturday morning for me, probably it's evening for Deepak in Bangalore. I really appreciate it. Seumas, give my best regards to Philly and to our other friend whose name I don't know, but I thank him for stopping by as well. I will be here again next. Oh, it's 7:25 in India. So it's a good time, I guess, for these live casts. So next Saturday, 9 a.m. Next Saturday, 9 a.m. And I may have another earlier one, maybe on Wednesday or so. But please subscribe to my YouTube channel and double click on that bell icon so that when I go live, you will receive an email message that Technical Writing is live. So always ready for technical writing. There you go, Deepak. Okay, my friends, be well. Wash your hands. Don't go out into the crowds unless you have to. Drink a lot of water. Keep hydrated. Oh, Deepak says I've shared it with friends too. Sure, bring them in next Saturday. The more the better if they have any questions. Seumas, I thank you too. Deepak, great talking to you. We see each other on LinkedIn too. So these are all good places to meet. And I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Keep up the good work. No despair. Take action. Don't go into paralysis by too much analysis. So there's always a solution. There's always hope. I thank you too. So, see you next week, if not earlier. Take good care. Bye-bye now.